I think we both know from dealing with our parents, with my dad, with your
Mhm,
mom, that they need to stay active. Sometimes it's more important than others. Like after my
mhm,
dad had COVID, going
mhm,
through physical therapy, but
mhm,
it's so important to
mhm,
keep them
mhm.
active, keep them going.
And sometimes it's hard to kind of get them motivated. So
Yes, it
today we're
is.
bringing in Tim Minnick. He is a personal trainer. And if anybody can motivate your aging parent, it can be Tim. I love that, Tim, because you are somebody who has really seen the importance of helping older adults get active and get out there, and we're not trying to run marathons. We're just trying to stay active.
Yeah. No, you're not trying to be an Olympic athlete at this point. You're just simply trying to you're simply trying to stay functional. And that kind of means that you're trying to make sure that you can do the activities of daily living that you need to do. And that's going to the grocery store and taking a shower and all that kind of stuff and being careful with that type of thing, but yet getting enough strength and ability to move that you can do that with ease. And you don't have to have somebody move in with you to help you, especially your children.
Mhm.
So that's the kind of the idea here. Now, if you want to go past that level, you certainly can. And just because you're old like I am, it doesn't mean you can't build muscle, build strength, and all that kind of stuff. You can.
Yeah.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, that's kind of the focus.
Yeah, so this is certainly a passion for you, and I love that that we asked if we can share your age, and you were 80, and so I think that is so inspiring. And you were recently on the cover of Austin Fit
Yes,
magazine, so
yes,
you you can
yes.
show
I
it to
had
us. Yeah,
Look at
there it
that.
is. There it is.
Amazing.
I love
That
it.
is
So
great.
this is
What do we need to do to get our parents motivated to even start?
Mhm.
well. I think that the motivation for me was that, and this has been several years back, obviously, but the motivation for me was that I don't want to be dependent upon my children to support me, and especially if I'm not healthy and I'm bedridden or I'm incapacitated in some way or another. I don't want them to have to, because your health is the baseline of your life, really. Even when you're younger, but especially as we get older, it's the baseline of your life. If you're not healthy, there's a lot of stuff you can't do. You have to be a lot more dependent upon people. And I think most older adults don't want to be dependent upon anybody. They want to be independent. They want to
Sure.
live independently. They want to be able to do stuff. They won't have to call their kids and say, "Oh, can you take me to the store today?" or whatever it is, or
Mhm.
to the doctor, whatever. So I think that's the main motivation that I had,
Mhm.
is that I don't want to be a burden to my kids. They've got enough stuff going on without me injecting myself into their life because I can't do things. I'm not functionally able to do things. So
And
that's
and is it important for them to sort of understand that, as we age, that we lose muscle mass, we lose our strength in
absolutely.
some ways at a faster rate, don't we, than we
Oh,
did maybe between
absolutely.
20 and 30 and
Absolutely.
30 and 40?
Yes, absolutely. You start losing muscle mass when you're 35 to 40 years old. Now it's small amounts,
Mhm.
but it increases dramatically as we age. So when you get up to age 70 and 75 and in there, you can lose 2 to 3% of muscle mass a year.
Wow.
Now that's not much. Well, add that up over the years and see where you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why you'll see people that are so weak. I have a friend of mine, and you may have heard this story. I don't know, but at any rate, a guy called me and he told me I hadn't seen him in a while, and he said, "You know what?" He said, "I need your help. I'm so weak I can't get off the toilet.
Mm.
I can't stand up off the toilet."
Wow.
Mm.
And I'm like, "Holy moly!" I said, "Why don't you come in? Do you mind coming in and let's do some assessments and stuff like that?" So he did. I put him in a chair, and sure enough, he had a very hard time getting up. So what this means is that when he goes into the bathroom, that he has to have his spouse or somebody help
Right,
him up off the toilet. Well,
right,
how degrading is that, for crying
right,
out loud?
right,
And so I don't want to be like that. Number one. Number two, I don't want to see other people like that.
right.
That's ridiculously degrading, in my opinion.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
At any rate, we worked on that and so forth, and he got better. I've trained all kinds of people with strokes and cancer and
Mhm.
everything you can imagine, heart transplant patients and all that kind of stuff. And it's amazing how weak we get and how quickly we get weak.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so the muscle mass you lose if you're in the hospital for any extended period of time, in the matter of just a few days, you start losing muscle mass. And
Yeah.
that's been proven by studies. And
Oh, yeah.
so it's absolutely critical that we maintain that. That doesn't mean we have to deadlift 300 pounds and all that kind of stuff. We don't have to.
Yeah.
That'd be great if you did, but you don't have to. But
Yeah.
you do have to have functional strength to be able to move around effectively and all that. And also, I think, Mike, you mentioned something about your dad going up and down stairs or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I would say most people want to live in a one level place. I say, doesn't matter where you live. Go up and down the stairs. That's a good thing.
Yeah, because
You know?
my dad was in the hospital for 3 days with COVID a couple of years ago and was very weak when he got out. But he went to physical therapy, did some exercising, and he lives on the second floor. He always takes the stairs going up, and it was hard going up the stairs when he first got back.
Yeah.
Now he goes up all the time, and every once in a while he has to ride the elevator for one reason or another because he has something in his hands or something. And somebody who lives there said something like, "I never see you on the elevator," and he's very proud about that. Which is
absolutely, he should be.
See, but I know it makes him feel better that he feels better.
He should be. Absolutely. That's exactly what he should do. That's what I recommend for people about that all the time. I say, use the stairs to your advantage.
Yes.
I mean, I've done it for years. When I lived in this condo I'm in now, or where I was before, I had a whole workout routine going up and down stairs and doing stuff because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And it limits the amount of equipment you have to work out. So
Sure. So what advice would you give if you have a parent who maybe just thinks, oh, it doesn't really matter that much, or, obviously the importance of being able to, some families, it'll be helpful to say, hey, mom, you're losing muscle strength and you can see that you're having trouble and you want to be able to get in and out of the car and up and down from the chair and, be able to do the things on your own. But what do you say to a parent who just says, it doesn't really make that much difference?
Well, first of all, that's an extremely difficult conversation to have. Number one, that's the first thing. Second thing is you have to sit them down, go eyeball to eyeball with them and say, look, I want you to stay independent. We love you. We want to be involved in your life, but we don't want to be here all the time trying to help you all the time because I know that you really don't want that. So here's what we'd like for you to do. Would you consent to allowing us to have somebody help you and get you started in some type of a routine that will help you get stronger? Now they have to want to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Deep down, they have to want to do it. You can't make them.
Yeah.
Right.
So they have to want to do it. But if I think most do, actually, I think deep down they do want to do something that will help them improve functionally because they know it's hard getting in and out of the car or in a restaurant. They're in a booth and they can't get up out of the seat. That happens a lot. And so I think deep down they don't want to do that. And so you just have to have a heart to heart with them. That's the only thing I can suggest because actually, if they're not motivated to do it, they're probably never going to do it. I have a relative like that right now.
Right.
And no matter where they live, whether they still live at home and independent living, assisted, I mean, wherever it is, it's not like they have to have a universal gym or lots of free weights.
No.
Good exercise just being there.
Right.
No. That's exactly right. They can do a lot of things. Body weight exercise is great. And I can give you a body weight exercise routine that'll kick you in the next week. And I guarantee you, and because I've done them, and I've done almost all of them, and I still do them. It doesn't mean I don't lift weights, but it does mean that you can work out anywhere, anytime, pretty much, if you really want to do it.
Yeah. Well, why don't you show us a few of those simple things that we could maybe encourage our parents to do, and frankly, maybe do it alongside them so that they make it as simple. And I think too, because a lot of people, if they haven't been used to exercising in a while, it may be thinking, oh, well, gosh, I don't know what to do. Or maybe I'm going to be so sore and exhausted and all of this, but you just need to start small, right?
Yes, you start small. The idea is to start. That's the first thing. Because if you don't start, obviously nothing's happening. So I'm going to back this chair up just a little bit and see if you can see me well. And we'll just do the first thing I would have them do is first you keep your chair. What you're going to do, I don't know if you can see me or not.
No, we can see you fine.
Okay. So you teach them how to do a squat, and a squat is simply breaking at the hips here, dropping your butt down, keeping your chest up, coming down to the chair,
Okay.
sitting down, and coming back up.
Okay.
If they can just do that,
Right.
that is a good start because that works right here, works right here,
Yeah.
and it works right here. So all of those things are good.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, a couple other things. So a squat and a sit to stand motion like that right there is
Mhm.
critical. I have people do that all the time,
Right.
especially if they're real weak here.
Mm-hmm.
Then they need to be doing a sit to stand motion like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Consistent.
So it's
The
always
other
good to
thing-
potentially have that chair handy so that you, or something that you can, that
They
you can
absolutely are. Yes, they need to have a chair there as a target to go to, and then it just if something weird happens, they need to have something to grab onto.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's important. So the other thing I would have them do, just right off the top of my head, you can take some stretch bands and just pull them like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry I didn't get mine out, but
That's all right.
just have them here, stretch band. They don't have to be heavy and tight and tough and all that. Just right here.
Right.
Because posture is a big deal.
Yes.
You'll see many older people are like this.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
bending like
Oh, yeah.
that. And so that's important, and that will improve that and strengthen these muscles here so they can more easily stand up straight.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's critical. One other thing, to not overwhelm you, but one other thing that I would do is this, and I'm going to move the chair here so I can have something to hold. I'm going to be on one leg.
Right.
So move this here. So just stand up beside the chair, get your posture good, get your chest up.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your knee up here, move it to the side like this. Keep your body pointed toward the front.
Mm-hmm.
And you open this up here, bring it back down, bring it here. Do 5 of those on one side, 5 of those on the other side. Make sure you engage your abdominal muscles well, and that will help your hip flexors, help your rotation of your hips, so be able to move. Now, if you've have a parent that's had hip replacement or something like that, they're going to have a tough time with it. But the idea is to get them stronger so they can move better even after hip replacement. Because hip replacements are commonplace nowadays.
Yeah.
And so almost every person that I work with that's over 60 has had knee replacement, hip replacements, whatever. And so not all of them, but a large number. And so the important thing is to work those muscles on the either side of that joint that help support that, especially for knees.
Yeah. Right, strengthen everything around it. Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, that movement, that hip movement is really important because we use the hips every time we take a step. You're using that.
And I mean, is it good to just even be doing push-ups against the wall, or maybe even just little light free weights or a soup can or something like that?
I'll show you something real quick. Let me grab this. So here's 2 little 3-pound weights right here. And you say people tell me all the time. They say, "Oh, well, I walk," and I go, "Well, great. Tell me about that." And they go, "Well, I walk the dog." And I said, "Well, actually, what's happening? The dog is walking you." And I said, "Because the dog's stopping every 5 feet, and so it's not a very effective walk." But at least
that's the walk that we have with our dog. Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
So you know about that. So the deal is that they need to walk independently of walking the dog. So, what I tell them to do is to walk at a decent pace. First of all, big steps, take big steps, walk at a fairly fast pace, and then carry some weights. They don't have to be like this. They could be water bottles or whatever you want, just for some weight, just for some resistance as you walk, as your arms swing and all that. It makes a huge difference.
Gotcha.
And so even though they're very light, of course, but that's okay. So that makes a difference. So anyway, that's
it's just really keeping moving, right? I mean, getting those muscles engaged and moving.
They need to be doing movement every day. Now it doesn't have to be going up and down the stairs. They could just be walking around the room in a circle or whatever.
Could you turn on some music and just try to get them to move a little bit?
Yes. If they like to dance, put on something.
Yeah.
Easy.
And that you can do anywhere. That's the
Right.
biggest thing to me, is that
Right.
you
That's
don't have
right.
to worry about what type of gym do we have at our complex. You can
Right.
do it in your living room.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
great if you do have those. Like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mom there's a workout facility, and I try to
Yeah.
remind her, hey, go ride the bike. And we actually got her one of those, the
Good.
little pedals that you put on the ground. And when
Yes.
she's watching TV, she can just
Yeah.
pedal her
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
legs, because again, it's just keeping them moving,
Yeah.
which I think is important.
That's,
And I do love the fact that you were in the financial services for 40 years, and being a personal trainer is sort of your second act.
yeah. Yeah. That is my second act. Yeah. It's probably my last act. But anyway,
Yeah. But obviously you're
but,
super passionate about helping other older adults be able
well,
to stay strong and stay independent.
that's exactly right. Independence is the key, and to me, and then the fact that I don't want to be dependent on anybody. I don't want my kids to have to be uh, coming to check on me. They all live out of town pretty much, and so
Right.
I don't
Right.
want them to have to be running over here all the time trying to check on me. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so I want to live as close as I can to the way I lived when I was, 40.
Yeah.
So now my wife's gone. She's been gone for a number of years, but at the same time, I still want to be able to functionally move and live like that, even though she's not here.
Yeah.
So,
Doing
so
the things that you want to be able to do.
That's right.
that's right. That's exactly right. So Mike and I were talking about football a minute ago before you got there, and so what if you want to watch your grandkids play football and you can't get up in the stands to watch them?
That's
Right.
right. Yeah.
Right. So I think a lot of it is helping our parents think of just the very practical
Yes.
reasons why it's important to exercise, right?
Exactly.
Like what are the activities that you want to be able to participate in,
That's right.
which means doing exercise is going to help allow you to do those things.
Yeah. It's not to get you feeling like you were back in your 30s again. It's just to stay,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
active
That's right.
enough.
Yeah, you're gonna naturally lose some muscle mass. You're gonna naturally your joints are not gonna be as flexible and all that as you get older. That's just normal aging process.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you can beat a lot of that if you just
Right.
start moving and do it now and don't put it off. Because if you put it off, you'll never do it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Tim, you've given us some great tips and suggestions, and you're a great example for all of us. So thank you
That's
so
right.
much.
That's right.
you bet. Thank you. I appreciate doing it. I'm glad to do it. Glad to do it.
Thank you. Thanks so
You bet.
much. I think it is so much about the quality of life, really. The better fit you are, the more you're going to be able to participate in the things that you want. And frankly, it's a good reminder for us as we're getting our aging parent to try to get up and move. It reminds us that, oh, we're getting older too. And it's important for us to stay healthy and fit and be mindful of how we're exercising as well.
That's right. Take care of them and take care of yourself as well. Hey, if you have any other suggestions for us to talk about, please let us know. Parenting aging parents.